Hello, hello, and welcome back to my channel. So, a couple things really quick. If you don't want spoilers for the gameplay at all, then don't watch this video because we are watching gameplay and breaking it down. If you are new to the channel, hi, hello. Couple things about the channel. We just got enough subscribers to have a membership tab. I've basically made a couple memberships. First one's really basic. It just kind of gives you a little icon. It's like $1. The next tier allows you to watch videos early, and then basically you get them as soon as I upload them rather than waiting until they're public. The other thing that is available are like membership emojis. They're just kind of funny, like likers get likes, keep on keeping on, and those work for the stream. We are about 300 followers away, maybe less, from getting fully monetized, so that's really crazy and exciting. And of course, we'll definitely be streaming Death Stranding 2 when it comes out on June 24th. Without further ado, let's get into it. And if you have any comments or anything, you can just leave them down below. If you put a timestamp, I have an easier time getting back to you and knowing what we're talking about. We have the times passed, the sun is set. We know from some of the interviews that they're going to have like a day-night cycle, and that some enemies only come out at night and some missions are only available at night, which isn't interesting. Again, like going back to the missable cutscenes, things like that. You know, it may have something to do with the fact that if you never play at night, you may miss certain things. Just like if you never did certain preppers in Death Stranding 1, you might miss out on some lore. But we have the option to sleep till morning or get up. And then, of course, it's funny because he's blue here, so you kind of assume you're in the scene, but it immediately changes colors. Now, I had a suspicion that the movement or the strands in the background were going to be a private room music player. I'm still sort of thinking that, but I'm less confident now that we've seen that it's part of what looks to be the night or the REM cycle. So we'll see where that theory goes. I'm not so sure that that one is correct anymore. I do think it's interesting that the private shelter, even though it is, underground, I think it's interesting that you can basically see like a transparent background through the TV. That's kind of a cool concept because, you really couldn't see much outside of your own private room walls in Death Stranding 1. So this does make me think we saw a private room in the trailer that had like a cityscape. So that probably gives us a better idea of where that area actually was now. If we go back and look at it, we can assume that whatever we see in the background is actually the area that we're in. Something about this shirt here, I initially thought that this shirt bottom was different, and that's the reason that he looks so snatched in this trailer. But then today when I was live streaming, I realized that no, the bottom of that shirt looks exactly that way in Death Stranding 1 too. So I'm not totally positive what the real difference is, and why his model really does look like more fitted. He doesn't look as, I don't know if he doesn't look as bulky or if he just looks more fit. There's something less blocky about him, and I really just think it's the waistline. But this is such a weird tangent, but that's something that a lot of artists have talked about because obviously we draw fan art of Sam and stuff. And what I've realized is I just think that they have a more realistic capture of him here. It could be because they've recently updated the mocap models, and maybe this is just how he looks now, 10 years later. He is getting older. We can tell that his hair and everything is still the same. He still has the same repatriation markings. He is, however, missing a tattoo, which at first I did not think was true. You can see the barest line right here, so it could possibly still be there. But typically he has a pretty large creature tattoo, which they decided what tattoos to keep whenever they scanned him, because he also has tattoos in different places. Like, for instance, he has like chest and back tattoos, and they didn't keep those. They only kept specific ones. So I think they're going to be able to tie those to lore, like the skull and then the 5 X's. To me, that makes me think of like the Cupid and all that good stuff. So I kind of thought they were going to keep the creature to represent the chiral creatures, but that would imply that Sam has some sort of knowledge of that. So we'll see. If it isn't there anymore, and it's not just a trick of the light, then it could have something to do with Rainy's powers, where she's been kind of reversing people's ages, and we assume like their literal cellular makeup to reverse their age. So it could just be that the cells have forgotten the tattoo, basically. We have a little bit of stuff on his pants leg. We used to have a map of the UCA in the plastic part, but it looks like that has actually changed now, and we just kind of have this empty pocket. There's nothing in it that I can tell. Oh my gosh, he's doing little blinky eyes. I never noticed that. Like, he's sleepy a little bit. We're gonna go backwards because I wanna see that again. He has like a kind of a cute little animation. Oh my gosh, he's like so cute. Oh my god, he's like 60 and he's the cutest little old man. Okay, so I know he's not really 60 in the game, but I don't know. He just looks adorable. Right, so he wakes up, he does this little animation, and I missed... Okay, so we have more sleeping menu options. So sleep till morning, sleep till evening. There's something behind him. We see the activate ring terminal, which is the new cufflinks, basically, or the new TV in the private room. I assume that's where we're going to get most of our menu options. Change screen image. Oh, that's interesting. Maybe we can put virtual photography up there. That would be so fun if you could do your own images in the background. Mine's just going to be Tomorrow and Higgs and Fragile constantly because I love them so much. Very cool. Oh, look at that. Does that have branding on it? Holy smokes. Do we have branding that we just didn't notice? I will just flip out if there is Red Bull in this game. It almost looks like beer, like Mexican beer maybe. That is, I wish that I could get a better look at that. If you guys recognize that cup, that can, you should definitely let me know what you think it is. There's kind of like a... I'm not sure what that is. Like an animal, maybe? Something like jumping, maybe? Gosh, so we are going to have some branded stuff. That is great. Or at least, even if it's an in-game branding, like, that's fun. Alright, so examine table. So we'll still have our stamina and our health, cryptobiotes. We have the APAC logo, which I thought the logo was really cool, the way it animated. I did think that was really neat. This is definitely prior to Dahlman. Obviously, we've talked about that a couple times already, but it's interesting how the suit is hung up. You know, I kind of like this like bare bones approach where you might be able to really take better photos, get closer to the gear. So customized look, customized backpack. I really hope we can change colors and not have to beat the game in order for that to happen. So you can change the screen image again. I'm not sure what that text says up there. Download, maybe? Just telling us what distro we're in. Oh, this is the private room. I thought this was a private room that was like, you know, like player made. So this is the new private room in the distro. That's cool to know. I'm sure everyone else already knew that before me, but that's fine. That's why we do this, just to kind of have fun and look at everything. I like the back of his new shirt. I think it looks really cool. And this is something I was curious about when we saw him walk into the room. Like, where's the shower section? So it makes sense that it was behind us. I'm glad we were correct about that. We get a good evening message. Does it talk to us? I can't remember. Let's see if it talks to us. Okay, so it doesn't speak. There's no, like, AI voice. I kind of thought we might have almost, like, you know, like an AI. Just like, hi, how are you? We have a sink built into the wall. I'm assuming there's a shower built in. It's weird because I feel like yeah, that door is how we got in, but that's also where the toilet and shower is. That's weird. Oh, there's our Bridges hat.
Departing facility.
Still get our animation. That's, you know, that's good. I do like that there's some remnants of the old game. It's not completely different. And also that helps with the environmental storytelling. Like, things shouldn't be that different. It's only been a year. Alright, so extend the chiral network to the research lab. So I do think that giant star on the map must be Deadman's research lab. And it'll be cool to know when we get that clip of Deadman talking to us, because I feel like I'll have to look at Sam's face and see if he had white beard hair or anything. It's probably right when he walks in here for the first time that we get that clip of him on what looks like a beach or at the water. He did have a cufflink on, so it makes sense. I mean, Deadman was probably just moving, like, Bridges outward. So Deadman is probably part of the C1 terminal stuff on the menu. I'm going to take a note of that just so we remember. So he's probably the final part of what I would say is probably episode 2. Because we know episode 1 is Sam. So episode 2 is probably us hooking up Deadman. I'm a little frustrated because, like I told you guys, the footage that I downloaded, I didn't realize was cropped. And I can tell that it is cropping the episode title out. Like that, those words are hidden up there. I'm going to kind of go through it slowly and see if I can see it. Yeah, so like we can't see the word delivery terminal up there because of what footage I'm using. That's super depressing. Oh well, if you guys see something in maybe another trailer and you see like the episode names, you should tell me. So we see now that we have a little bit different of a menu. We have the take on orders menu. Oh, look at cute little Norberto. Oh my goodness, look at his little beard. It's so fun to have new characters. I don't know if anyone recognizes that guy, like knows him. Is he an actor? I have no idea. He's probably going to be like my favorite little dude. I just love his name. I say to the probably 45-year-old mocap actor. We have deliver and report. I still don't understand what report means. It's good to know we have entrust cargo still. That is good to know. So we're going to add that to things on the menu that haven't changed. We have the fabrication management system, share cargo with other porters. That is excellent to know. It also looks like we're not getting a ton of materials at the facility, but that doesn't surprise me. Some people thought maybe that meant that things were going to cost less material-wise. I don't think so. I just think that with the mining mechanic in the game, that we will no longer be as dependent on distros to get materials. Let's zoom in on my little Norberto. Aw. Look at him. Look at those headphones. My goodness. He looks like every FedEx worker I've ever seen. Okay, so there's nothing really special about this menu, but it is fun to zoom in and see the details, which, by the way, this detail right here looks exactly like Red Samurai's sword. So I am assuming that he probably got his sword from APAC, because that looks just like the sword detailing. Katana, I guess I should say the right one. It looks like it just skipped forward completely. What did we, so did he just click on take on orders?
If you bring them this delivery, you'll be sure to earn their trust. Once you've done that, you'll have an easier time convincing them to become part of the chiral network. Timefall is coming down hard in this area.
All right, I'm going to go backwards just a little bit so we can see a lot on the map, more than I thought we could at first. Know that we crossed water to get here, so this is the town that we actually went through to get here to this first knot. I wouldn't... This is probably where, like, the grill was, and then way back here was probably where the bandits are. We made our way all the way across here, and then probably entered at this point. Looks like there are still kind of like tar areas, because that black spot to me I would assume is like a tar lake. Let's talk about what he says in the beginning. He says, you know, maybe if you bring this stuff to them, they'll hook up to the network. So we still have people who don't want to be hooked up. Just like Sam has said, people don't want to be associated with this. We have Via Libre, which I looked up the other day. It was the free village, I think. So it is interesting that the first place that we try to hook up is literally like the Village of Freedom. They probably don't want to be connected to this, you know, terrible thing. It's nice that we can see the bandit camps pretty easily. So they've probably just replaced mules. Honestly, the skull seems to imply that. Cargo locker from someone. I'm kind of looking at like the topography of the map and just trying to like see things that we might not be able to notice at first. So I see like there's a lot of little rivers kind of running through here. There's a lot of area to explore. Obviously, we can't see if there's any preppers hidden on the map yet. But I mean, there's a lot to explore here. So it's home to a pregnant woman and many elderly people. I thought that was kind of interesting that there's just one, which we've talked about. It is weird that there are no, you know, pregnant people in Death Stranding 1, and suddenly we're seeing people with kids, people with babies. I'm interested to see, like, did everyone suddenly become more sexual, like literally more sexual? Because in the other game we know, oh, I hope my microphone hasn't been clicking. It's kind of been tapping things. So we know, you know, in Death Stranding 1, one of the big things is that nobody's having sex, no one's having babies, because everyone's scared for their life. Nobody is interested in that. And that's, you know, that's a big part of it. It's hard to make connections when you're not around people, you're not getting out, things like that. So it does appear that we are making more connections in this game and that people are connecting to one another, building families. But I am curious, is this where Rainy comes from? Probably not, but it would be funny if this was Rainy and we get her like in the first episode. Let's see, to help the residents and gain their trust, bring them at least one medical unit. I wonder if we get the doctor back from game 1 or if we'll have a new doctor. It's not very big. That looks like a small area to be housing many elderly people, unless there's just a really large area underground. So this is the third cargo order. Okay.
Cargo containers that are exposed to timefall will begin to degrade. If you carry container repair spray with you, you can use it to mitigate these effects before it becomes a problem. Keep an eye out for the rivers and bandit camps in the area too. Hazards like these can make your life much harder. On your way to Villa Libre, you might pass a post box we built. We left behind some spare equipment in its shared locker. If you see it, take a look inside. Everything is yours to use as you deem fit. There should be materials in there too, enough to fabricate something if you like. Also, if you have any extra equipment, you can use the box to donate it to other people. With a moment's generosity, you can make another porter's day. Finally, each postbox has a private locker which can be used to store equipment for later use, and a recycle feature that will turn any unneeded items into materials. So what do you think? Have enough information to plan your journey to Villa Libre? Take your time to finalize your route.
Okay, so on top of the fact that he does mention timefall, we get a little bit of environmental storytelling again. We were curious about Fragile's hand and the fact that, I don't actually know if this video is posted yet, but eventually you're going to watch a video where we talk about Fragile whenever the tar stuff kind of shot out of Tamaro's arm and touches Fragile's glove seems to be more powerful than regular timefall. it not only ages the glove, but seeps through to her hand and then re-ages her, the top of her hand or the back of her hand. And at the time I was debating, like, this must be a much more powerful tar or timefall, because it was able to do more than just the first thing it touched, which we learned in Death Stranding 1, timefall can only affect the first thing it touches. That's why you're able to drink it at some point. And it seems like that still applies. We still have container repair spray, which kind of follows that principle. I'm assuming the physics of that are that if it touches whatever container spray sprays on the package first, that it will degrade that before it degrades the package. We get a look at the skill tree for the first time. Since we're early in the episodes, it is very small, and it looks like since we've been walking, we have a higher skill level here than we do anywhere else. I am seeing something that looks like electric. We have like an electric thing. I'm not sure if that's like gonna be stamina or something. Oh, we have a little BT marker. That's funny. Which that tracks because we've got the liquid over here. So it looks like we have stealth. We have the little ninja. We have holding your breath for longer amounts of time. I'm assuming that this is stamina. So I'm really not sure what this electric is. Maybe your batteries. Here's your how much you can carry, and then it looks like, maybe your walking or climbing abilities. We can still make a route, same old, same old. The map's just a lot nicer to look at, I think, a lot easier to see. Cargo capacity, so it's nice that we get to see it in a percentage now. That'll be easier for people like me who are not great with kilograms. And it looks like we are starting out with the normal 120, I assume. Would that be kilograms? I think kilograms? Probably not. Pounds, surely. He could carry quite a bit in the other game. And it looks like he already has some chiral crystals. So this kind of, to me, this looks like what the real menu is going to look like. We have the little D-pad options over here. And this reminds me of the original menu on the PlayStation Pad when you press it.
Commencing route creation.
Let's go back. I want to see that animation again. Okay, so it says powered by. There's our Q. So it looks like it's powered by TG STK, maybe? I wonder what that's supposed to mean up there. This part right here. Geologic framework mode change. That's fun. Okay, so powered by TGSR? TGSR, maybe? I hope Hideo never sees these videos ever, because he will just be like, what is this weirdo talking about? So Cupid coverage map, we get a little bit more of... I like the font that they use, the Cupid mode. I really like how they've gone for this kind of unique font. You can see little Sam back here. That's funny. He's got a little person. We've got kind of that like power symbol. It's a circle with a little dot. So, I don't know if you guys remember, but this symbol, this circle with these 3 lines, is exactly what Higgs's Odra deck looks like. He is not beating the allegations. I am pretty sure he's working for APAC. Okay, so it's showing us some of the things that we'll have to go through. I didn't realize at first that you could actually see the enemies right there. You can see little red enemy markers. So here it tells us that there are armed hostiles, a bandit base northwest of Ciudad Nudo del Norte. Multiple reports have noted porters en route to and from being attacked and robbed by bandits. Freight vehicles have also been seen here. So pretty sure that these are the mules. That's what I'm going to call them, at least. That seems to be what they are replacing. We get a little preview shot of what that base is going to look like. And I'm feeling like this could be the base that we saw in the trailer where I saw the Magellan behind it. In the sea at the Gulf of Mexico, this river once formed part of the U.S.-Mexico border. Its tributaries upstream are usually dried up, but the water level has been known to rise rapidly during periods of heavy timefall. Okay, so that's one of those really neat things where we are going to see dynamic environments. Once you mark something, it tells you that you are going to go by at least one bandit camp, and you have the risk of falling twice. The risk level. That's funny. So if you take this route, it will tell you how dangerous and risky that route is. And also where you're going to meet these things. That's pretty cool. So that's really awesome. It looks like you can already see what's in the post box. When it pops up on the map, you can go ahead and check. You can see if it needs to be upgraded. You can check the durability, what level it is. That's funny. You can see the owner. So I assume if you have like an in-game locker that you see that someone else has made, you can probably see their username pop up there. It'll also tell you the players that are contributing here. That's really cool. Maybe if you're playing with friends, you might be able to tell, like, is this one of their lockers? Do you want to give stuff here so that they can find it? And then it tells you that there's 20 Kyro crystals, some resins, and metals, I guess. I like that. You could probably do that in this game. I've never checked. I never even considered trying to see what was in a post box from the menu. Okay, and so it shows us like this is where we're going. I'm not seeing anything too crazy on here. That's the medical unit. It looks exactly like the one that the doctor used for the Mountaineer in episode 6. And then it looks like it's going to go ahead and give us like the final risk level and how long everything is.
Finalized.
That's really neat.
This order call.
Okay. So then we're going to get kind of the confirmation menu. I love this icon down here. I think that's so fun that they went for like a neon look.
For some pretty hefty cargo, to be sure.
They're both about 20 kilograms.
Make all necessary preparations for your delivery.
Okay, preparing to deport. The cargo management screen allows you to rearrange your cargo, place it in storage, recycle pieces of cargo. Same old, same old. Fabric equipment lets you create things, prepare equipment for your route, make sure to make contingency plans, and select head out when you've made your preparations. I saw back here a little menu pop up that I thought was kind of fun. Look how cute he is. I just love Sam. So we see this, and it pops up and it says weather now. Okay, so we get like a little weather upgrade, like update as we literally finish our route. That's cool. So you can customize your look here too. There's a lot in the menu that's available to us now.
Please select an item to fabricate.
Alright, we've got the blood bag, container repair spray, ladder, climbing anchor, transporter boots, assault rifle, and the Mazer handgun. So it's cool that we're going to get those right off the bat. They're going to open us up with weapons. I mean, we can tell this is very early in the game. We're literally getting the tutorial at this point. We already have 2 weapons. That's what I'm talking about. That's very exciting. Facility materials can be used to fabricate equipment, recycle unwanted equipment, or store materials. So that's still the same. Alright, so a bag of blood that will restore Sam's blood levels. When connected, empty blood bags will automatically be replaced by reserve bags. We're still using the utility pouch. I like these weird little stars. They kind of, I don't know, they're interesting and strange to look at. So durability, stock, portability. I like that it's kind of showing you like, I don't know, almost like how, like the durability thing is interesting. Like if you take this with you, it might be useful, but maybe it gets broken very easily. Looks like we have like 500 milliliters. It's small size, weighs about 1 kilogram, and takes 15 Kyro crystals, and I can't even remember what that one is. We get our first look at the corpus menu, which is down here. That is supposed to be the thing that tells us everything. The menu is just so cool. I'm loving the new look. I think it's going to be a lot easier to understand. If you've played for a while, obviously you're going to understand the menu, but I do remember it was an uphill battle that I found really confusing when I first played. So it's showing us kind of what we have. Oh my gosh, it's such a baby distro. There's only 300 medals. We are already carrying 50% with just 2 items and a blood bag. We've got a utility pouch. It's interesting because the utility pouch appears to be like on our butt, basically. That's kind of funny. What an odd spot for it. You know, usually it's kind of up here like on our chest. Looks like we can have 4 things attached to our suit. I love the little dude. We have tool rack. We have boot clip. We have a handgun holster. I knew that was a holster. That makes me so thrilled. I knew that was a holster, a handgun holster. That's, yes, very good. Grenade pouch. That pleases me that I was able to see that. Actually, feel like I'm curious about a couple things. Oh, that was interesting. I'm loving all this menu stuff. So I was looking at this container spray. It has like something kind of written on it. Weather day, buy another day, maybe? Oh, die another day, classic. Why do I know that line? What movie is that from? Die another day. Is that a James Bond movie? I wonder if that is a hint about any tie-ins. We were just talking today about what crossover games we might end up having. I mean, I know Lea Seydoux is a Bond girl, so that could be an easy crossover. There's the Mazer. Kind of just the regular stuff. No chiral ladder or anything. Okay, so I'm assuming these are kind of like the grenade pouches, probably. 2 ladders can be joined together to double their length. I like that. An automatic rifle suitable for close and mid-range engagements. Armed with MP bullets, effective against any target. The rifle also comes equipped with a light and 2 modes of fire. So we are getting scoped out rifles, because in the trailer I was like, who in the world is hunting Fragile down? See, I'm thinking I'm like, I don't think Higgs killed Blue. I think they're getting attacked by bandits. I think Higgs saves them. I feel so confident because he had a pistol. None of his guns have scoped out lights on them. Oh, they're stressing me out. See, again, that visual icon down here is pretty interesting. So semi-auto and full auto. This reminds me of the SpongeBob meme. It's like,
Order accepted. Thank you.
okay, so marker A1 reached. The corpus updated with story so far. You were able to add something called preppers to the corpus menu and something called remote medical units to the menu. So that's good. You'll be able to go back and find those. It reminds me of the Witcher's Compendium or the Bestiary a little bit. Well, that's kind of funny. So we're obviously in Mexico. The entrance sign was in Spanish, but the exit sign is in English. So do they do that based on your like language? Like, that would be fun if like you got updates. Like if you got to see the text in your language. Actually, someone will have to tell me if they already do that, since obviously I play in English. If you're playing in French, do you see all of this in French? Do you see it all in German, Russian, whatever? We get a little smiley face. We get BT, weather, a chiral crystal. I'm not sure. That might be bandits. See you again. Be careful out there. Thank you.
The next part of the footage was unfortunately the music was too loud to hear me, so I'll need to re-record that little section, but I think we have enough for today. It's about 35 minutes. The next part will be us on our trail that we've created, our path, and we'll break down kind of what we see. I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. If you have any information on the James Bond tie-in sort of thing, I'd love to hear about it because it seems like it might be something that's going to happen. And I will see you guys in the next video. Bye!